As a follow-up to my earlier video about the paint booth that I set up, I thought I'd show you the project I'm currently working on, which is the upper and lower instrument panels for a little turbine-powered single-seat helicopter that I'm building. And so far, those two parts that you see, plus the little test panel, it's in the upper right-hand corner there, have had epoxy primer applied in gray, a gray polyurethane primer sealer, and now a black polyurethane base coat. Today, later today, when it warms up a bit and hopefully the wind dies down a little, I will be painting yellow polyurethane base coat over the top. Then on Tuesday morning, tomorrow morning, I will be going to the local laser engraver and have them engrave the graphics and labeling on this panel. They'll engrave down through the yellow, exposing the black lettering and graphics. Then I'll quickly bring the parts back to the paint booth, and I will spray polyurethane flat clear coat over the top. I don't know that this has been done before. It's an experiment on my part. You can see the little yellow sample panel off to the right, where I've been experimenting with a number of different methods of creating this instrument panel, and I've set upon the process that I just described. Now, as far as the painting materials or equipment that I use, I'll kind of start off to the left. I use these DeVilbiss paint prep wipes a lot. They're lint-free, they're really nicely absorbent, and they're good for cleanup, they're good for cleaning equipment, they're good for wiping down using final wipe solvents to clean the parts before you actually begin painting. I use a tack cloth. I'm careful to get the tack cloths that advertise themselves as being compatible with waterborne paint, because I have heard from pretty credible sources that the tack cloths that are not good for waterborne paint, that is, they're intended for solvent-based paints only, they will leave residues, or can leave residues on the parts that water will affect the adherence of the paint, either solvent-based or water-based. So I look for those. Lots of nitrile gloves, of course. So moving over to the left, or to the right, here are the spray gun components that I use. This is 3M's PPS system, Accu-Spray, and you can see it has a single needle. It's a plastic body. The little filter is not part of the gun. That's an adder that helps take out water, and it's a very fine filter, takes out water and other fine debris. There are five different tips, or nozzles, I guess they should be called, to these Accu-Spray guns. The red is the largest. It's a 2.0 millimeter. It's for heavy build coatings. The inside of my helicopter's cabin, the cabin itself is fiberglass, and I painted the inside with the speckly product that is often used on the inside of fiberglass boats and canopies and so forth. And it requires that 2.0 millimeter nozzle, and it worked very well. The clear one, the next one, moving from left to right, is 1.8 millimeter, used for primers, basic primers. The orange is a 1.4 millimeter orifice. That's for primers, sealers. The base coat is the next one, the green one, 1.3 millimeter orifice. And the farthest one to the right is for clear coats, and it's 1.2 millimeters. Today's unit will be the one I will be using later today will be the green one. This one's been used several times. They are essentially disposable. If you're not in the mood to clean, you can just pop them off and throw them in the garbage can. And I suppose that in some circles that's a sensible way to go. I try to preserve them, and I've had no problem. This one is the only green one I've used so far for this entire project. It's probably reaching the end of its useful life, but I used it yesterday for the black, and it worked fine. So it will get used today on the yellow. Um, they're really easy to assemble, and the nozzle and the needle cleanup are really very simple. Once you've cleaned the nozzle with a little bit of solvent, you pull it off, and you just take a wag and simply wipe the needle off, and it's done. And wipe the gun off with a little solvent. I use acetone. Clean out in here if there's any debris. And then when you're ready to put it back together, it's really simple. You pull the trigger to get the nozzle or the needle back away from the nozzle. Line it up, and push it in until it snaps. There's 2 snaps, one on each side, and bingo, it's ready to go. So now I'll show you the paint that I'll be using today. I've been using a Eurochem products for this whole operation. Seems to be quite good. Again, I don't have a great deal of experience in painting, but I can't say that I've noticed anything that has been problematic with it. I purchased it because I liked the colors that they offered, and the service from them was very good. And it's made in Mississippi, and it's about half the price of what Ppe Gear or Ditzler or whatever that I checked from the local auto body supply shops. Okay, so in this case, I have the polyurethane top coat. This is a high gloss Viper yellow. It's really a pretty bright yellow. This is the activator, 2K activator, and the reducer, and it goes in a 4:1:1 correction. Yeah, I think it's 4:1:1. Yeah, 4:1:1 ratio. That's another thing that's nice about this PPS system is this is the small cup. They make a larger cup as well, which I have, but my project painting projects are typically not very large, and so the smaller cup is the one that I use most of the time. They come with this little plastic insert that goes inside and has a scale on it for the various mix ratios that you might be encountering with the product that you're using. Since I'm 4:1:1, I'm using this column right here, and if I want to make, I think these are ounces. Yeah, I'm pretty sure these are ounces. So if I want to make 3 ounces of mixed product, I put 3 ounces of the paint in, then I bring up to the second 3 line with the activator, stir that up as per the instructions, and then bring it up to the third 3 line in the 4:1:1 columns with the reducer, and mix it up, and it's ready to go. Of course, it doesn't go directly into the cup. It goes instead into this little liner, which is sort of like a Playtex baby bottle liner, and it works really slick. So you've put the liner inside the cup, you mix the paint, and now you've got the cap that slides on. And both of these are disposable, by the way. Both of these products are disposable. They get thrown away with every mix. So you buy a bag of these things. They're not terribly expensive. It comes also with a screen that's already inside, so you don't really need to strain this paint. Now, maybe if you had paint that was really bad, you'd want to run it through a strainer first, so that you wouldn't be plugging this strainer up and impeding the flow of paint to the nozzle. But I've not had any problem at all with it. I've checked the screen size, and it's basically the same as a good quality paint filter. Okay, so once you've got the paint in and it's mixed, then you make sure that this lip is clean just to avoid a mess, the lip of the liner, and then you line this up sort of carefully, and then snap it straight down like so. And then I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the video, but I always look to make sure that I have captured the lip of the liner between the cup and the snap-in lid. Now, this is the original version of this primary paint system. They've come out with a new one, which I think eliminates that problem. But they're still making the supplies so that one can still continue to use the older version, which is what I have here. Okay, then the locking ring goes on, and then you can put a plug, which also is a part of the system, in just to reduce the likelihood that if you knock the container over while you're in the process of preparing to paint, you don't make a big mess and lose the product. Okay, so now let's say you're ready to paint. Bingo, you pull that out, you grab your gun. I can figure out where I put it. Oh, it's over here. You grab the gun, and again, the newer version works slightly different than this, but the principle is still the same. You push it down until it snaps in place, then rotate this until the locking fingers are locked, and now you're ready to go. Now, once you're hooked up to air, I've usually adjusted the air pressure before I get to the stage. Once you're hooked up to air, then with the paint cup in the inverted position, this is the way you'd normally have it for painting, with it in the inverted position, with the opening to the top, and connected to air, you open it, pointing the gun at your test board until you start to get paint. What that does is, just like a Playtex baby bottle, it collapses and sucks out all of the air, which is at the top, of course. And so once that's done and you're starting to get paint, you can paint in any orientation. It makes no difference. You don't have to worry about sucking air. And it's really a good setup. I'm very happy with it. It's easy to clean, much easier. I have a nice Japanese-made small paint gun, and I hardly ever use it now. In fact, since I got this, I've never used it, because this is just so much easier. Oh, and the cleanup. I should tell you a little bit about the cleanup. So you're done painting now, and you're ready to clean up. So you turn the gun upside down, disconnected from the air supply. Pull the trigger. That will allow the vacuum to be broken, and any paint that's in the nozzle will run back into the can. And once that's done, then you pop the cup back off, and now you're ready to clean. So all you have to do is take this is acetone in a squeeze bottle, and you basically fill the nozzle up with solvent. Stick your thumb, gloved thumb obviously, over the end, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Now you can have it hooked back up to air and actuate the trigger a number of times while you suck that solvent and paint mix out. And you take 3 or 4 times doing this, and then the nozzle will be clean. Will be basically clean. Once in a while, I will take a Q-tip, put a little solvent in there, and take the Q-tip and scrub out the inside of this little section of the attachment for the cup. Then I'll take a paper towel, put a little solvent on it, and just wipe the gun down, and it's clean and ready to go. You can pop this off, as I showed earlier, and clean the needle. That's important. You can also look inside to see if there's any debris, paint debris left that remains to be cleaned out. So it's a very easy system. Once that's done, you're ready to go. It uses maybe 3 or 4 ounces of solvent at the most, and a little paper, maybe a Q-tip, and takes 5 minutes tops, and your gun is clean and ready to go. So I've been very happy with this, and I would highly recommend it. Ppe Gear, I use a 3M mask for mixing, and I'll use it in the paint booth after I'm through spraying. These are I'm using 6001 eyes. They have a little indicator on them that tells you when they're no longer safe to use. I wear a Tyvek suit with a hood. I wear goggles when I'm spraying, and then this is the mask for the clean breathing air setup that I have, and it has a little belt that attaches it to your waist, and the nipple that fits into the quick disconnect that is on the end of the hose coming from the motor itself. So that's about it. That's how I painted my little project. It's possible to do a really pretty good job. I can show you. It's a little dusty right now, but you can see this is the helicopter. That's the empennage, the vertical stabilizer and the horizontal stabilizer. I also painted the oil reservoir there, the lube oil reservoir, and a number of parts. The frame was powder coated. It was much simpler just to have that powder coated. The cabin is removed, and but it is essentially the same paint scheme: green, yellow, and black. So there you have it, and I hope you got something useful out of this video.